mean, do you know how insecure and pathetic you sound? You can't take you seriously.
Eat another donut,
I get
lady.
That I'll just finish. I get that you reckon that you're some big shock.
That you couldn't put down the Dunkin' Donuts long enough to make an argument. Now, can you make one or not?
Oh, you know, this is schoolboy.
By the way,
tactic.
a real
It's
man
schoolboy.
doesn't speak down to a woman the way you do.
Care what
Not a real man.
is.
You're actually very feminine if you ask me. You're a very feminine man.
And nobody cares what you think real men are.
You sound super.
In society, we should be moving women into a familial role. It's not to say that women can't work. Nobody's saying women can't work. We're just saying that if you're going to glorify things in society, it should be the mother in the intact home. That's absurd. No labor statistic supports that. And even if we were to take household chores and put it on the table against a man's work, doesn't even come close, even with children, especially because you're parking them.
Look, you're about to watch something absolutely insane. 3 women, Julie, Emily, and Stasia, sitting across from Andrew Wilson, and they're about to get completely demolished on the topic of gender roles and family. And here's the thing. These women think they're making great points. They really do. But watch how Andrew systematically dismantles every single argument they throw at him. Julie's going to try the personal attack route because she's got nothing else. Emily's going to play the both sides fence sitter. And Stasia's going to hit him with the live and let live libertarian cope. But here's what's hilarious. Andrew sees through all of it, every single move. And by the end of this, you're going to see exactly why the TradCon position on the family unit is the only one that makes sense if you actually care about the future of Western civilization. Let's get into it.
Many men are okay with, a woman who works, and I know many men are not. And that's the great part is you choose who you want to partner with. So if you want a woman to be home and have 5, 6, 7, 8 children, which is a beautiful choice to make in life, then go for it. If you want a woman who can do both, work and have children when she's ready, 2 or 3 children, then go for that type of woman. If you want a woman who's never home and going to be on the road all the time, and trust me, there are many beta men who would love that, then go for that. Like, nobody is forcing you to be with a woman that doesn't cater to your needs, the same way no one's forcing any women to be with a guy like Andrew Tate that's going to beat you and make you miserable. We have choices, and we need to make calculated, wise choices as to what personally is best for you.
The Andrew Tate fallacy, instantly moving over to Andrew Tate is evil and a representation of men who believe in a patriarchal system. Here's the truth. The truth of the matter is that we should be doing for society what is socially good for society. If we can't reproduce our society, that's a really bad social ill for society. When you have propaganda that is telling women to go get useless degrees in psychology and sociology. Yeah, that's great. Let me finish.
It's actually
Andrew,
sad.
hang on. Just Andrew, quickly. Is Megyn Kelly a covert feminist then?
Not covert, overt. She's an overt feminist. Covert's out for Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly came out and said women should be prioritizing career over family. That's what Matt Walsh's issue was with her, and he's absolutely right. The guy struck it out of the ballpark. Socially, in society, we should be moving women into a familial role. It's not to say that women can't work. Nobody's saying women can't work. We're just saying that if you're going to glorify things in society, it should be the mother in the intact home and the wife and the caretaker at home, not the girl boss. That's insane. And it's a societal death sentence. Walsh knows it. Everybody knows this at this point. If you can't reproduce your own nation, you don't have a nation.
Do you know how...
Okay, Julie, you wanted to jump in there.
I mean, do you know how insecure and pathetic you sound? You can't take you seriously.
Eat another donut, lady.
I'll just finish. I get that you reckon that you're some big shock jock, and I know that you're desperately trying to be relevant, but you sound so insecure and so pathetic. You are
irrelevant. Do you have an
argument?
Can you put the Dunkin' down for a second and give me an argument? Do you have an argument? Or is it just
Sorry,
Andrew
I haven't heard
bad?
one from you.
Yes, I've given you multiple arguments for the social fabric of all of society and how we can improve it, what we need to be doing, what we need to be moving towards. I gave you all the stats. I gave you argument after argument. Can you give me a single argument?
All the stats. You are the oracle. You know all about the universe and what's going to progress humankind. You're just a shock jock, mate.
It's not psychic ability.
You're just pathetic. Nobody's going to listen to you. You're an aggressive, insecure man.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
We're not taking you seriously.
Well, this is going to go viral, and a lot of people are going to take me seriously, and all they're going to remember is that I told you that you couldn't put down the Dunkin' Donuts long enough to make an argument. Now, can you make one or not?
Oh, you know, this is schoolboy
By the way,
tactic.
a real
It's
man
schoolboy.
doesn't speak down to a woman the way
I
you
don't
do.
care what you think
You're
a
not a
real
real man.
is.
You're actually
I
very
don't care
feminine
what
if
you
you
think
ask
a real
me.
man
You're
is.
you're a
Don't
very
care.
feminine man.
Yeah, nobody cares what you think real men are.
You're
You sound super
pathetic,
feminine.
mate.
Yeah.
And how
Nobody cares what you think a real man is.
that you're such
I'm
a
sure your wife's
big
very happy
boy
at home.
by slating, bringing in
You're so mad.
personal insults about women's
You start. Hey,
I'm actually
appearance.
very
I'm
happy.
sorry.
Wow,
I'm sorry. You guys
I
think that
feel
you're going
for
to insult
you
people.
when
We
you
can't
go
say
out
anything back.
into the big wide world from behind your macho
Well, one day when I go out in the
podcast
big
studio
wide
there.
world, I hope people will take me as seriously as they do women who make zero arguments
Wait, why are you
on
on
a show
Pierce
like this.
Morgan? Shouldn't you go be working right
Why
now
are
and making
you?
money for your
Why-
family to
I
support?
am
How do you have
working,
time to
making
I'm
a ton of
working. I don't
money.
have
What are you
kids.
talking about?
I don't have a husband.
You're
I'm
saying that
23
you
years
can't
old.
make
I'm not
money?
married with kids yet, but
you
it
can't
seems like
make
you should go
money
be working
podcasting?
right now to fulfill your gender role as a big, strong
I
man.
am working right now.
Oh, well, get to work.
Well, let
That's
me
what
ask-
I
let
do
me
for
ask,
a living. I
You're
don't know
not
what
being
you're
paid to
talking
be
about.
here.
Yes, lady. I'm going to get paid a lot of money ultimately to be here. You have no idea what you're talking about. If you saw my bank account, what I
Okay,
make doing
sure.
Dude, did you just watch that? Julie literally had zero argument, like nothing. Andrew laid out the entire case. Birth rates are collapsing, societies that can't reproduce die, we should socially incentivize the nuclear family and motherhood over girl boss culture. And her response was, you sound insecure and pathetic. That's it. That's the argument. And then when Andrew pressed her, okay, give me an argument then. She had absolutely nothing. So what does she do? She goes after his character. She calls him insecure. She says nobody's going to take him seriously. Classic deflection. And Andrew knew it was coming. Of course he did. He's seen this playbook a million times. And the Dunkin' Donuts line? I mean, come on, that was brutal. Can you put the Dunkin' down for a second and give me an argument? Absolutely savage. And the reason it works is because it's true. She's sitting there attacking his masculinity while offering zero substance, zero data, zero logic, just feelings and insults. And then she tries to pull the real men don't talk to women like this card. Okay, so real men are supposed to just sit there and nod while you call them pathetic. Real men are supposed to let you insult them and then politely thank you for it. That's not how this works. Here's what Julie doesn't understand, and I know you guys already know this, but when you're trying to argue about what's good for society, you can't just appeal to emotion. You can't just say, well, this feels mean, or I don't like your tone. That's not an argument. Andrew gave stats. He gave social theory. He gave clear reasoning about why birth rates matter and why the family unit is the foundation of civilization. And all she had in response was tone policing and personal attacks. That's the left's playbook in a nutshell. Can't win on the merits? Attack the person. Can't address the argument? Call them insecure. It's so transparent. And then Morgan jumps in with the gender role thing. Shouldn't you be working right now to fulfill your gender role? Like that's some kind of gotcha. And Andrew just fires back. I am working right now. I'm getting paid to be here. Absolutely perfect response. Because these women don't actually care about consistency. They'll tell you traditional gender roles are oppressive and evil, but the second a man disagrees with them, they'll weaponize those same gender roles to try to shame him. It's the exact same thing feminists do when they say, real men should support women's rights. Oh, so now there's a definition of real men? I thought gender was a social construct. Pick a lane. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Julie's response here, because I genuinely think this is one of the weakest debate performances I've ever seen. Like, she had multiple chances to make a real point and just didn't.
To be here. You have no idea what you're talking about. If you saw my bank account, what I make doing stuff like this, it would
You're
make
so
you
cool.
weep. It
Oh,
would
show
make
us your
you
bank
weep.
account to make yourself feel
It
more
would make
secure.
you weep. Yeah, hey, the only thing you could think of was to try to assault my bank account, lady.
Assault?
That's it. That's the only thing you can think of. The only thing you can think of is you don't work enough. You don't work enough. It's ridiculous.
Let me play. I want to play Emily. I want to play Emily a clip. This has gone viral too. It's had 120 million views. There's a woman who suggests she's about to leave her husband because he doesn't do enough domestic chores. Let's take a look.
If you do not participate in an equitable way in your home, and so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, The alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience, and I want people to know that there's hope, and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this.
I mean, Emily, I would personally, I would travel continents to avoid a lady like that. But what's your view of what she's saying?
To me, her rant, take away the gender for a moment, because I actually believe women are a lot messier than men, just in terms of our makeup, our clothing, the abundance of clothing that we have. I think we definitely purchase more accessories than men. And I think we also, like I said, there are gender roles I believe in should be responsible for most of the cleaning. Then on the other hand, if you're marrying a slob, A, you should know who you're getting into a household with. But B, if you're in a happy marriage and you have a sense of communication, why not just sit your partner down and be like, hey, I don't mind cleaning up after you, but when you throw your filthy socks on the bathroom sink or you leave your wet towel and we have mold, you know, I'd appreciate if you could not do this. But I don't think it gets to an extent where like divorce is justifiable unless your husband is like a hoarding pig that's unbearable to live with. I think she's being a little bit dramatic here. And we all can acknowledge women are a bit messier than men, and it should be just like looking after one another. It's not a big deal to clean up after your partner, and that could go both ways. Not everything is so black or white.
Andrew?
Well, first of all, stay-at-home moms are mostly nowadays parking their kids in public school for most of the day. Oftentimes, the kids are taking buses from the city to the school and buses home. They're not even driving them. Okay, not even driving them. And they have fully furnished lunch, even breakfast at most of these public schools, right? They don't even have to send them with a lunch anymore. They have all day to do household chores while men are working, right? No, women do not do a disproportionate amount of work in comparison to men. That's absurd. No labor statistic supports that. And even if we were to take household chores and put it on the table against a man's work, doesn't even come close, even with children, especially because you're parking them most of the time in a public school for most of the day. This lady who's making this TikTok, totally insane, completely disconnected from reality, has no idea how this actually works.
She's not totally
Julie,
insane.
your response to
You're
that.
going to make a choice to marry a girl who's going to cook and clean and do everything. And me as a woman, I'm going to make a choice to hire a housekeeper one day so that I don't have to cook and clean because that's my choice. The problem is you're too obsessed with other people's choices. Live and let live. Like, take a step back and recognize not everyone has to be as extreme as you are. Like, yes, women
live
should
and
cook
let
and
live
clean,
until
but
it
if they're
comes
not
to the
perfect,
transgenders,
if they're not perfect,
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's
I
crazy.
do live
that
and
you
let
guys
live.
all
till
Don't
it
play
comes
in
to
my
the
spirit. I don't care if you're transgender. I don't care if you're transgender.
Well, I don't understand.
Go for
It's
it.
live and
I'm not
let
marrying
live.
a transgender.
Let them go play their
Let
sports.
them live and let live. Absolutely.
Live and let live. You
no.
people contradict
That's
yourselves
not
so
equality.
much.
That's their
It's
superiority.
Absurd. Yeah, it's
No,
not
I think you're
superiority.
just
What's
stupid
going on
because
right
I'm
now,
explaining myself and making sense.
the explanation makes no
Transgender
sense.
absolutely should live.
All right, so let's talk about what we just watched. Andrew Wilson absolutely destroyed all three of these women, and it wasn't even close. Julie had no argument, literally none. So she went straight to personal attacks and then folded when Andrew didn't back down. Emily tried to play the middle with this live and let live libertarian take, but even she had to admit Andrew's points made sense when it came to what we should be socially incentivizing. And Stasia, she kept contradicting herself. First, she's like, everyone should make their own choices. Then she's like, gender roles exist and women should be responsible for most of the cleaning. Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. But here's the thing, and this is what Andrew understood from the jump. This isn't about personal choice. Nobody's saying you can't make your own choices. You want to marry a career woman? Go ahead. You want to be a stay-at-home dad? Knock yourself out. But when you're talking about what society should promote, what we should glorify, what we should hold up as the ideal, that's a completely different conversation. And Andrew's right. If you can't reproduce your society, you don't have a society. Period. That's not opinion. That's just math. The West is collapsing because we stopped valuing the family unit. We stopped valuing motherhood. We stopped valuing fatherhood. We started telling women that being a stay-at-home mom is oppressive and degrading. We started telling men that being the provider is toxic masculinity. And now we're shocked that birth rates are cratering and young people don't want to get married or have kids. What did we think was going to happen? When you make career the highest virtue and call traditional family structures patriarchal oppression, you get exactly what we're seeing now. collapsing birth rates, mass immigration to fill the population gap, cultures that don't survive past a generation. And that's what these women don't get. Or maybe they do get it and they just don't care because they're more interested in feeling empowered than building a sustainable civilization. Either way, Andrew's the only one in this conversation who actually understood the stakes. This isn't about controlling women. This isn't about taking away rights. This is about survival. And if you think survival is too dramatic a word, go look at Japan's birth rate. Go look at South Korea's. Go look at Italy's. These countries are dying because they stopped having kids, and we're on the same path. So yeah, Andrew won this one. It wasn't even a contest. Julie embarrassed herself. Emily fence-sat the whole time. Stasia contradicted herself in circles, and Andrew just calmly laid out reality while they scrambled for gotchas that never landed. That's what happens when you come to a debate with feelings and your opponent comes with facts. Drop a comment and let me know who you think had the worst take in this video. My money's on Julie, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you're new to MB, hit that subscribe button because this is what we do here. We break down these conversations, we call out the BS, and we say what everyone's thinking. Stay sharp. I'll see you in the next one.